So you might have noticed in the last video or two that the peonies were almost ready to bloom, and they've definitely bloomed now. So I thought it would be a good idea to do a little English lesson about flowers. In this English lesson, I'll talk about the types of events where we give or send flowers in this part of the world. I'll talk a little bit about the parts of the flower, the basic vocabulary that we use in English when we talk about flowers. And then I'll talk a little bit about the verbs we use and the phrases that we use when we talk about giving, sending, receiving, and doing all kinds of different things with flowers. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about flowers. Before we get started, if this is your first time here, don't forget to click that red subscribe button over there and give me a thumbs up if this video helps you learn just a little bit more English. Well, probably one of the biggest events where people buy flowers or where people use flowers in this part of the world would be a wedding. When a bride and groom get married, often the bride will have a bride's bouquet. A bouquet is just a little group of flowers, or it can be really big. There's also bridesmaids' bouquets. There's also something called a boutonniere, which is a little thing that the men wear on their shirt or on their suit jacket. And then sometimes women in a wedding will wear a corsage, which can either be on their wrist or can sometimes be on their dress as well. So weddings, the first event, when two people get married, they spend a lot of money on flowers. I think most of the money in the world that's spent on flowers, at least in Canada, is probably spent at a wedding. Another common time when people send flowers is when there is a funeral. Oftentimes when someone passes away, we often use that phrase, by the way, instead of saying that someone died. Often when someone passes away, because you want to express your sympathy and you want to express your condolences, you will often send flowers. You will often send what's called a flower arrangement. A flower arrangement is usually a container with some very pretty flowers in it, and you'll send a card. So another common time when people use flowers, when people send flowers, and also a very sad time is when there is a funeral and you want to just express to the family that you feel bad for them. You want to express your sympathies and your condolences. Another time where you might send someone flowers or give someone flowers is if they're sick or if they're in the hospital. When you're in the hospital, it's really nice when someone sends you flowers. People don't always have time to visit, or maybe they're not able to. So they send flowers because they want you to get well soon. In fact, you might even get a card with the flower arrangement that says, "Get well soon." So another time when it's just nice to send flowers, when it's nice to have flowers in your life, is if you know someone who's sick and in the hospital, you might send them flowers. Or if you yourself are sick or in the hospital, it's really nice to get them. It just lifts your spirits a little bit. Giving flowers whenever there is a special occasion is just a good idea. In English, when we say something is a special occasion, we mean the day is special for a certain reason. It might be a birthday, maybe it's a graduation, someone's graduating from university, maybe it's Mother's Day or Father's Day, although flowers aren't as popular on Father's Day for some reason. Anyways, whenever there is a special occasion, giving someone a bouquet of flowers or giving them a flower arrangement is just a cool gift idea. You can give them other things if you want to, but for some reason when Jen and I are asked what would make a good gift for Mother's Day, we usually say flowers. I think because we grow them. Anyways, special occasions are cool days where sometimes people give gifts, and flowers are sometimes a really unique and cool gift to give. Flowers can also be a very romantic gift. When we use the word romantic in English, we're talking about love. Sometimes when two people are starting to fall in love with each other, one person might buy the other person flowers to show them that they're starting to have feelings for them. In English, when you say someone is starting to have feelings for someone else, it means they're starting to really like them a lot, and maybe they're falling in love a little bit. When two people go on a date, sometimes on the second or third date, one person might buy the other person flowers to show that they are very, very interested in them. The most popular day for giving flowers for a romantic reason would be Valentine's Day. Every February 14th, people celebrate Valentine's Day. It's when you buy flowers for your loved one. Flowers are the best gift, by the way, I think. Sometimes people buy chocolate or jewelry or other stuff, but as a flower farmer, I have to say, I think flowers are the right way to say I love you to someone. The most common flower on that day is, of course, the rose. And I think the most common gift, if you're going to buy flowers, would be a dozen red roses. And then lastly, the last romantic time to give flowers would be on an anniversary. If you are married to someone, every year you celebrate your anniversary. It's the day where you got married. So every year you celebrate that, and it's really nice to buy the other person some flowers to show that you love them just as much now as you did the day you got married. So I have a couple of flowers here because I thought I should teach you some basic English flower vocabulary. You can see this flower has not opened up yet. It hasn't bloomed. So we would call this a bud. So this is the bud. This is the bloom or the flower. If I take this entire thing down here, we would say this is the stem. This is just a leaf, the same as a leaf on a tree. And when we talk about all of them in plural, we would say leaves. And again, this is the bloom or flower, and each individual part of it is called a petal. Now, I'm not going to go into scientific detail about what's all in the middle. This is just a basic English vocabulary lesson. But I do have something else to show you. This is a bouquet. A bouquet of flowers is when you take not always different flowers, but it can be all different flowers and some greenery, and you put it all together into something like this, which looks very beautiful. So this is a bouquet of flowers. And of course, if you got a bouquet of flowers from the store, you would want to put it in a vase with some water so that the flowers are happy and live for a long time in the vase. Usually about a week, sometimes 2 weeks before the flowers eventually die. But that's just what happens when you have flowers. So let's talk a little bit about the verbs you would use in English to talk about flowers. Jen and I grow flowers. If you like having flowers in your flower beds or garden, we would say that you grow flowers. That's the verb we use. We grow peonies. We also grow sunflowers. We use the verb to grow to describe all the different flowers that we grow. A couple times a day right now, Jen will go out and cut flowers. When you go out to the field to get the flowers, you take pruners, and we use the verb to cut. Jen will go out and cut peonies every morning and every evening because they bloom quite quickly through the day. When you take flowers and you put them into a bouquet, or when you put them into an arrangement, we use the verb to arrange. Jen and I go to a market on Thursday, so Wednesday night we arrange the flowers. We take the individual flowers and some greenery and we put them into a bouquet. We arrange the flowers. And then you either send flowers to someone, that's when you call a flower shop or you order flowers online and someone else delivers the flowers for you. So we use the verb to send. I'm going to send flowers to my mom because she's in the hospital. She's not actually in the hospital. That's just an example. The other verb we use is to give. You might give someone flowers. This is a better example. The other day I went to my mom's because it was her birthday and I gave her flowers. I'm using the verb to give to indicate that I went in person, I had flowers and I gave them to my mom. I like to give my mom flowers. She really likes them. It's kind of handy that we have a flower farm. Well, hey, thank you so much for watching this English lesson about flowers. I hope you were able to learn a few more English vocabulary words that you can use in your next conversation when you talk about flowers. Remember, if this is your first time here, don't forget to click that red subscribe button over there. Give me a thumbs up if this video helped you learn some more English. And if you want, why don't you stick around and watch another English lesson?